Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Church Video School channel where we help you grow your church by doing video better. In this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 ways you can use this coronavirus outbreak to think more creatively about doing ministry. Obviously, the situation we're in right now isn't ideal. The economy is slowing down massively, public life has essentially been paused. Churches everywhere are essentially being forced to operate without Sunday gatherings or even small groups. Can we change the situation right now? Not really. But can we change our response to it? The answer there is yes, we can. What hidden opportunities exist in this crisis that we can start looking for? Craig Rochelle is fond of saying that we should always ask ourselves, what can we do because of our limitations, instead of what can't we do? That's not just word speak, it's a paradigm shift to see unique opportunities and solutions instead of just obstacles. Coronavirus right now is one giant obstacle, but let's take a look at some possible ways that it can be an opportunity for us. Number 1, we can start to think more creatively about what ministry means. In the Western world, large Sunday gatherings and experiential ministry have become the norm. And don't just think of modern churches, this has been the case since World War II. Church has largely been focused on the experience, the room, the music, the teaching, the coffee, all of that. And those things aren't wrong. However, those things can't happen like that for a while. So, what does church mean when you can't gather together in a service? When you can't all sing together or receive communion? This situation should cause us to ask the question, what are our goals as church leadership? What are our metrics of success, our impact going to look like in the coming weeks? And how can we minister to our people in the most meaningful way possible? This virus outbreak is an unprecedented opportunity to start rethinking what ministry means to your people and your church. Number 2, I think a major shift that can and should happen during this time is an increased emphasis on shepherding and pastoral care. Different churches already place different emphasis on pastoral care based on size and philosophy of ministry, so if you're a smaller church, this may not be totally different for you, but for churches of 400 or more, it may be time for everyone on staff to become an honorary community pastor for a while. It's a natural consequence of not having large in-person gatherings that you just can't connect with people the same way. You can and should definitely be connecting with your congregation as a whole during this time, as we'll talk about in a minute. But those moments on Sunday where you can look someone in the eye and check in on them, ask how they're doing, how their mom's doing, all that, those aren't going to happen organically anymore. It's time to make a chart of every person in your church or youth ministry or kids ministry. Start reaching directly out to every single one of them. Maybe not all in one week, but maybe twice a month. You can send a text or give a call to check in and see how they're doing. How can you pray for them? See if there are parents who could use some encouragement or seniors who'd like some help going to the store. Direct connections like this always make a huge difference. Even my bank called me today to see how things are going, and it felt kind of nice. So if you haven't already, consider this period of time a no excuses opportunity to focus in on doing one-to-one ministry. I promise you, it may not be super comfortable, but it's going to make a world of difference. Number 3, it's time to focus on spiritual formation. Again, this may be in your church's wheelhouse or it may be a foreign term to you, but this is a ready-made opportunity to shepherd your church in their personal spiritual growth and habits. Right now, people are either working from home or they're out of work. They're surrounded by distractions and likely spending all day staring at screens and indulging their greatest fears about the future. They're probably not taking great care of themselves, and if they have kids, they probably haven't had to parent this many hours in a day for this many days in a row for a while. It's a time that's tailor-made for people to become emotionally, spiritually, and physically unwell. As a church, this period of time is a perfect opportunity to focus in on leading your people through some spiritual practices. Whether it's sending out a post on how to survive this crisis by doing things like keeping a regular sleep schedule, limiting news intake, working out once a day, etc., or doing times of daily prayer together, the possibilities here are endless, honestly. Bridgetown Church in Portland, for example, which my wife and I attended years ago before we moved, they're doing a daily podcast focused on centering scripture, prayer, and meditation to specifically address walking through this issue right now really well. Other churches I've seen online are doing 24 hours of prayer with people signing up at different times. I mean, whatever it is, try to be in your church's lives on a daily basis if you can, because right now you just can't lean on Sunday services like we always have. Number 4, it's time to change the context of your teaching. I made another video about this recently that you can check out about whether it's best to live stream or pre-record your services while we're shut down from the virus. But either way, you should absolutely be teaching your congregation differently than you used to. If you're going to still do a long-form sermon like you've done for maybe decades, I don't know, that's totally fine. But maybe you can deliver it in a fresh way. Film it in your office or even in your home where your congregation is likely going to be watching it from. Maybe sit down and lead the sermon like you would if it were a Bible study or a class meeting in your home. Make it more personal and less public, so to speak. Use this time to teach or preach in a way that you simply couldn't before. Again, think about what you can do because of this situation, not what you can't do. And finally, number 5, it's time to be friends with technology, okay? I'm certainly not the first person to say this, but you just can't avoid it during this crisis. Church and internet and video are 3 terms that simply can't be avoided right now. Maybe your church has been using video and live streaming for a long time, or maybe you're completely overwhelmed with learning how to transition to digital services. Either way, this outbreak is providing you an opportunity to see how technology can be a friend to ministry. I still think it's worth doing some kind of Sunday church service for your people during this time, just for the sake of normalcy, but I definitely wouldn't stage a regular Sunday service and just film it from the back of the room. Do something during the week, edit it together, set it to premiere on YouTube this Sunday at whatever time makes sense for you. I've believed for a long time, and not without critics, that screens are the native language of our people today. Church via video or online has been ragged as inauthentic and other similar terms, but I've seen it firsthand. People pay attention to what's on a screen. Even when I was a youth pastor, I had way fewer interruptions when I would pre-record a message while I was out of town than I did preaching in person, like ever. People are used to listening, learning, and interacting via screens, and right now you kind of don't have a choice. If you take this time to put your feet in the ground and refuse to use video to connect with your church, your people are going to suffer for it. They need you. And using video, using Zoom, even using Marco Polo and Instagram, those are more important than they've ever been. We can debate after this crisis is over whether or not video teaching is effective, but right now, it's your best friend. So be nice to it. Make the most of it. Do stuff you simply couldn't do if things were normal and you were preaching live in person on a Sunday. Seize the opportunity that this situation presents. Well, that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. I do honestly hope that you and your church can grow stronger and serve people more meaningfully during this time than maybe ever before. If you enjoyed watching, hit the like and subscribe buttons below, and don't forget to download the free video gear guide in the description if you need help picking out the right gear for your situation. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.